brought to you by Hallow, the world's #1 prayer app. What's up, Mark?
I'll get right to it. Let me preface my question by saying I love my wife and I. We've been married for 10 years. I love her just as much now as I ever did. Matter of fact, I tell people I won the wife lottery when I met this woman.
Gross, Mark.
I know. We've been married 10 years. We're both in our mid-50s. She is 56. I'm 53.
Okay.
My question is, we differ on religion. I don't really like to bring it up with her. I guess I don't want to disappoint her with how I feel about religion. I don't use religion as much in my everyday life as she does. Okay. And I wouldn't say she tries to force her religion on me. She tries to, I guess, in her mind, she's trying to open my mind to religion more. And it kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. And I really don't want to tell her that, I don't feel the same way about it as you do, because I really don't want to disappoint her or hurt her feelings.
Man, thanks for the call, dude. I think your willingness to be open is going to help a whole bunch of people. Because A, you're not alone when it comes to the religion conversation, but I think there's something bigger at play here that's really important, okay? And that is, you have this person who you love. In fact, you love talking about how much you love her.
Yeah, exactly.
And you somehow have gotten the wires crossed in your mind that is telling the truth and being fully present with her is somehow going to lessen her or hurt her.
Right. Well, I grew up, I grew up as a part-time Catholic, Easter and Christmas.
Sure.
My father, he basically went just to socialize, basically. She grew up in a Pentecostal holiness, if that'll tell you anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she was, jumped down the aisle, speaking in tongues, the whole 9 yards. And, we just don't see eye to eye on that stuff. And, she'll start asking me questions about my faith or, like getting baptized, or have I, brought God in my life? Have I made Jesus my, savior? Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to answer that. And she'll quiz me sometimes on theology, I guess. And it just kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. And I really don't know how to tell her, babe, this isn't, I guess I go along to get along right now.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. There's an old saying in counseling that is conflict deferred is conflict amplified.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what's coming. Here's what's coming for you. You're going to keep getting along to get along, going along to get along. And one day she's going to get the wrong kind of bananas. And you are going to punch a hole through the cabinet, and it's going to because it's going to have built up so much. Right. So my question for you is this: what's another thing you're kind of you just don't talk to her about?
Well, music.
Okay.
We have different. She listens to K-Love all the time, and. No offense to the listeners out there, I think K-Love music is rather cheesy.
Who do you listen to? Who do you love?
Oh, I'm a child of the 80s, man. Iron Maiden, the Ramones.
I would hug you if you were sitting here right now. So.
Well, truth be told, I was watching one of your episodes the other day, and I saw the Monsters of Metal album behind you. I was like, I had that exact album.
Because you're awesome.
That's right.
What's another thing you don't tell her?
I have to vet movies for her.
Okay.
She gets real uncomfortable with sex scenes, nudity, profanity.
Okay. What's another thing you don't tell her?
Gosh, we're pretty open about everything. Honestly, we really are.
That was amazing. We're pretty open about everything except for entertainment, values, faith, and eternity.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So here's my bigger thing is this: secrets will kill you and will kill a marriage.
Right. Yeah. I really don't want any secrets with her. I really don't.
I know. And so that's why I'm so grateful that you're calling. And religion is such a third rail topic. And that's why I was pointing at other things. Because here's what's underneath your marriage. Or let me say this, I'm guessing. Okay, I'm taking a wild guess. I remember having some theological conversations with a buddy one time. And my theological stances on some things, I find myself all over the place. As my good friend Brent Bailey calls it, like I feel like an odd man out sometimes. And I remember having a debate and going back and forth, and it was getting kind of heated. And then this guy, he's so awesome, man. He came back a couple of days later, and he said, "Hey, I need you to know something. I think you're real smart, and I like debating this stuff. And just know my passion comes from I'm worried for your soul's eternity." And here's the thing. He wasn't playing.
Right.
And I gave him a hug. Here's why. If a piano was falling out of a window, and I looked at him and said, "I don't believe that. I don't think that piano's actually falling," I would hope he would love me enough to try his best to shove me out of the way with two hands to save my life. And when he told me that he was coming from that position, it recentered everything, because it wasn't for him just about who's right and who's wrong and what's this interpretation and like what's this, theological. It wasn't about that. He was telling me, "Hey, dude, I love you now and I love you into the future. And the way I see this is, man, you might be making some choices and have some thoughts on some things that may cost you your eternity." And I guess there's a way I could have made fun of him for that. I was really deeply touched by that. And so I tell you that story to tell you this. You and your wife, I think, are talking around the edges. And I would love for you to sit down and say, "Hey, I love you. And I've been keeping some things secret from you because I don't want to hurt your feelings. But I also think that by trying not to hurt your feelings, I'm actually dishonoring you. I'm just not being honest." And so you asked me about my relationship with Jesus. You asked me about this. You asked me about going to church. What are you really asking me? What are you scared about? What are you worried about? And let her talk from there. Because if she's going to bed every night, grasping her pillow tight, like just holding it so tight and saying, "Dear God, please don't let the man I love die and burn in hell forever," because that's how she happens to see theology. Man, that's a different conversation than she's just bugging you about going to church. I'm guessing that she's not just nagging you to try to control you.
No, I don't feel she is. I think she wants me to live with her eternally.
There you go.
And I guess she does fear for my quote unquote mortal soul.
Okay. That conversation is way more important to me than I can't believe you're saying bad words. And have you even, like, those conversations are all right, whatever.
Yeah.
The one about, "Hey, I see a truck coming right at you and I'm trying to drag you out of the way of it."
Right.
That to me is her trying to love you as much as possible.
I know I can't, I feel the love when she tells me this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, we both get up early in the morning to get ready for work, and she does her daily devotion in the morning, and I'm just down there watching YouTube videos. Well,
that will send you to hell, Mark. I'm not going to lie.
I know. Yeah,
that will make your brain turn to goo
with gas britches on.
There you go. But I think getting to the deeper conversation and then you being honest, and when she sits down and says, "I'm worried about your soul forever," and you having the courage to say, "I love you right now in the here and now," that's not how I see it. And I want to find a path forward for you because I want to love you with all I got right now while we're here. And if you have to ask yourself, like, "I'll go to church with you, hon. Like, I don't want you to do this really important thing by yourself. It's no skin off my nose. I'm going to go with you. I don't like, that's cool. It's an important thing that you really love. I'll do that with you. I'll go to your Bible study. I'm not going to get up every single day and do X, Y, and Z."
Right.
And I think there's something to be said for putting it to bed, because I want you to choose guilt over resentment, because what's going to happen is you're going to say nothing, you're going to say nothing, you're going to say nothing, and then you're going to explode. And I don't think that's going to be fair for her. Or you're going to explode internally. It's going to kill you, and that won't have been fair to her either.
Exactly.
Right?
No, I want to be around as long as I possibly can with her.
Yeah. And she's going to say, well, then why don't you just go get baptized so you can be with me forever? And you'd be like, all right. So, but you get to articulate that. But I think setting the conversation up, and maybe it's as easy as saying, honey, we're going to go to dinner and we're going to talk about Jesus tonight. And she might light up like a Christmas tree and be like, not like that. Right?
Oh, yeah, she would love it.
I know, but I want you to get beneath the what do you think about this, and why haven't you done this, and I don't want you to say that. And then when it comes to the art stuff, when it comes to movies, it comes to music, I've learned in my house, my wife loves bluegrass. I like loud, wild music, and we have together found the Avett Brothers. We have together found Andrew Peterson. We have together found Frank Turner. We found some of these, which is funny. One of those is a very Christian artist. One of those is an atheist artist. And one of those is what I would call very, very spiritual guys. But they are maniacal, thoughtful, brilliant, and kind of bluegrassy, and kind of punk rock, and kind of all of it all together. So we have found some common ground. We've worked hard at it. And my wife is going to a play this weekend by herself.
Oh.
It just wasn't my jam. I'm taking my son to a rock and roll show he does not want to go to, and I'm making him like, you have to go to this thing with me. And so we do some things on our own like that, and we don't hold that against each other, because it's not a matter of I don't love you. And dude, I go to country music concerts with her sometimes because she's my friend and I like hanging out with my friend.
Right.
And man, I'll tell you what, the few times she's gone to like punk rock mosh pit shows with me and she gets up against the wall, I've looked over and dude, she is smiling ear to ear.
Oh.
Right? But not because of the music, not because she suddenly feels super safe with a bunch of maniacal morons crashing into each other, but she sees how much fun her great friend and husband is having.
Right.
And it's a matter of like, you get what I'm saying? There's a service orientation to this. And it's not all the time, and it's not forever. And I don't ask her all the time, and I don't ask her forever. It's this, no, that's good. I'm in on this one. I'm in on this one. And again, those are on the periphery. When it comes to rest of your life stuff, when it comes to religion, when it comes to, I want you to believe what I believe because I want you to believe what I believe because of power, or I want you to believe what I believe because I'm worried about like what happens to you for the next millennia. Those are two different conversations, man. And one of those is like, whatever, dude. And one of those is, thank you for loving me so much. That's not how I see it. And let's make peace where reality is, not in all these proxy wars about what we're dressed in and what we're doing. And then I want you to be as graceful as possible with what's really true. Can you go to church with her? Because if you can, that's awesome. You don't have to buy everything the preacher's saying, but if you, man, what a gift, right? And if it's a core violation, put that on the table. Put that on the table. And also put on the table, honey, I'm not at this for the foreseeable future. I'm not going to get baptized. I'm not interested in this. So you bringing it up all the time isn't helping, but I would love to go to church with you. Can I just start there? Can we do that? And so, man, thanks for the call. It's an honor to talk to you, man, because I know that you love your wife, and I know that you also want to stay true to yourself. And most of us in our 40s and 50s and 60s were taught that the way you honor somebody is to bury yourself. And I don't think that's true. I think the way we honor people, especially that we're married to, is we show up our full self, but we are careful and cognizant and honoring and respectful enough to show our full self in a way that can be seen and heard. And she gets a right to grieve. She wants to see you in eternity. And you're telling her, I don't think I'm going to be there because I don't even think eternity is real. And I think she gets to grieve that. And then you'll get to make choices about what your marriage looks like every single morning. By the way, stop starting your morning on YouTube, dude. Unless you're watching this show, hit subscribe button. Please hit subscribe and like and all those things. Stop. Go outside. Go for a walk. Or just sit by your wife and read. I want you to rot your brain. Download the Hallow app today and get 3 free months at hallow.com/Delony.